Night has always carried secrets, but there are certain moments after the sun disappears when the atmosphere changes, when familiar rooms feel unfamiliar, when your spirit becomes alert for reasons your mind cannot explain. And Jesus warned that darkness is never just the absence of light, but a territory where confusion multiplies, temptation hunts quietly, and the enemy studies human weakness. Most people expect danger to look dramatic, yet spiritual danger usually arrives as comfort, curiosity, nostalgia, or fatigue. And there are places you can step into during the night that will slowly step into you long before you realize something holy has been stolen. So tonight, we are uncovering 7 places you must avoid when darkness falls, because understanding them can change the way you survive the hours that test your soul the most. And the first place is spiritual isolation, that subtle drifting where prayer can wait, scripture can wait, obedience can wait, and connection with God becomes optional. Because a believer who postpones communion eventually becomes vulnerable to substitution, and the enemy never needs to destroy you publicly if he can disconnect you privately. A sheep wandering from the shepherd in daylight may still see the path, but in the dark it becomes easy to follow the wrong voice. And then comes the second place, the territory of secret temptation, where night convinces you that privacy equals permission and that hidden means harmless. Yet heaven sees what humans excuse. Character is shaped in invisible decisions, and chains begin forming quietly around appetites that promised freedom. What seduces you at midnight rarely blesses you at sunrise. And the third place is mental darkness, where thoughts grow teeth, anxiety writes stories, regret replays failures, and fear begins to sound prophetic. The enemy understands that if he can occupy imagination, he can influence direction. So he magnifies problems, shrinks hope, and convinces you tomorrow will repeat yesterday. Yet Jesus warned that when the inner eye fills with darkness, the whole life follows it. And the fourth place is returning to environments God already rescued you from, revisiting conversations, attachments, habits, digital doorways, emotional dependencies that almost buried your calling. Nostalgia can feel holy, but it can resurrect bondage. Freedom requires distance, and many destinies collapse not from new attacks, but from old doors reopened. And the fifth place is deceptive voices, whispers that appear logical, compassionate, progressive, or empowering, yet subtly contradict truth. They flatter ego, minimize sin, and repackage rebellion as growth. But the shepherd said his sheep recognize him, so if a voice removes conviction, weakens purity, or replaces surrender with self-importance, it is not from heaven, no matter how intelligent it sounds. And the sixth place is unmanaged vulnerability, those tired emotional hours when loneliness exaggerates need, when affirmation feels urgent, when escape looks medicinal, and people trade permanent inheritance for temporary relief, forgetting that exhaustion is real, but decisions made inside it still carry consequence. And then the seventh place, the deepest trap of all, is believing darkness is permanent, that grief defines the future, that God has stopped moving, that silence equals abandonment. Yet every biblical night carried a hidden clock moving toward morning. The tomb had a sunrise appointment, despair has an expiration date, and quitting in the dark can cause you to forfeit miracles scheduled for dawn. Here is the mystery many miss. Darkness does not create evil, it exposes allegiance. It reveals who you trust when feelings are loud and clarity is low. It shows whether you follow impulse or instruction, fear or faith, appetite or assignment. And maybe as you hear this, you recognize how often evenings become crossroads in your life, not because you are rebellious, but because you are human, tired, longing for relief. Yet Jesus did not give warnings to terrify you. He gave them to guard what is precious inside you. You were never designed to survive the night alone, which is why wisdom must become louder than emotion, truth must become stronger than craving, and remembrance must overcome forgetfulness. Stay near the shepherd. Protect your thought life. Refuse hidden compromise. Do not romanticize what God removed. Test every whisper. Guard your heart when it is tender, and repeat to your spirit that mourning is not a theory, but a promise. Because the way you walk in darkness determines how you will stand in light. Endurance at midnight prepares authority at sunrise, and those who remain faithful when nobody is watching become trusted with influence when everyone is. Someone is hearing this at exactly the hour they needed it, right before a decision, right before a message, right before returning somewhere they were delivered from. Let this be the interruption that saves you, the boundary that protects you, the clarity that strengthens you. You are not weak for being tempted, you are wise for being warned, and heaven still believes your future is worth protecting tonight. So choose alignment, choose obedience, choose to wait for the dawn, because the ones who hold on to God in the dark are the ones who witness Him move in power when the light arrives. And if this message awakens something in you, receive it, walk in it, and declare it over your life. Then subscribe for more biblical wisdom that fortifies your spirit, and comment, "I choose the light," to make your stand visible, because every public declaration builds private strength, and the faithful who endure the night with trust will always be the first to recognize the sun when it rises.